Hello, my fearless Reviteers. Today we're going to talk about phasing, and we're going to talk about how to continue on phasing so that you can add a demolition phase as well as a new construction phase. Before we hop into that, let me go into our old casita project and remind everybody that in your properties, down at the very bottom, by default, Revit assumes that everything you build is going to be new construction. So if I click on a wall, you can see phase created new construction and it hasn't been demolished. Truly, the majority of the work that we do in Revit is new construction. So that's how it works by default. Now, when we started our final project during our CAD import, I made a really important note to everybody saying that before you draw, make sure your phase is in the existing phase. So when you changed it to existing, if I click on anything here, you can see that this wall is existing and it hasn't been demolished, okay? If you haven't done that yet, don't despair. It's going to be kind of a pain, but essentially what you have to do is select everything, either one by one or drawing a big box around everything. You decide. But what you'll have to do is make sure that you change these walls from maybe new construction back to existing in order for it to work correctly. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you, now that we're in existing, I'm going to throw in a couple more interior walls that are also existing. Let me not do a brick wall. So once you got your layout in here, maybe you have a couple bedrooms, bathrooms, a hallway, all sorts of fun stuff in here. Let me just kind of throw up some walls. Let's pretend that looks really nice. And you know, you might even have some doors in here. Let me throw in a couple of doors. I don't know why it's set to bifold doors, but we'll take it. Any kind of door works for this example. And again, you'll notice I'm in existing, and if I grab this door, well, it's not going to show me that. Let me go to a generic Revit door. That should show me its phasing. Oops. Yeah, let me throw this in here. Okay. So at least the Revit door should show me, yep, phase created, existing. Okay, so everything on my plan right now is existing. So in your first phase of your final project, you created everything in existing, and we also named it first floor existing. Okay, if you aren't with me, go ahead and pause. Make sure that you first change your phasing to be existing, and then also rename this to be first floor existing. And then once you have that, go ahead and come back and we'll go on to the second part of the lecture. So welcome back if you went away. So we have existing and new construction. What I'd like to do is add a demolition phase. And we do that by going to Manage and then Phases. So Manage, Phases. And when you click here, again, these are in order. The past is towards the top, and then the future is towards the bottom. Now we want to put after existing, we want to put a new phase, and we're going to call it demo or demolition. It's up to you. Okay. So now we have a new phase. That's the first part. The second part is to duplicate this floor plan, right? So first make the demolition phase, and now right click on first floor existing, duplicate view. Now I don't have any detailing, so I can just do duplicate. And now I'm going to rename this. Take a guess what I'm going to rename it. Demolition. Okay. So even though I've called it demolition, it's still showing me the existing phase. So what I'm going to do here is change it to be demo. So from the top, there's three things that I did. First, I went to Manage. I added the demo phase between existing and new construction. And then I duplicated my existing plan and I renamed it to demolition. The most important step is on this demolition plan, make sure the phase is set to demo. Then it won't affect your existing stuff. All right, if you need to watch that again, go ahead and pause and rewind, and then come back for the really fun part. Okay, so let's say in our remodel plan, we want to get rid of all of these walls right here. And we can start that process by clicking on a wall. And I love this cute little sledgehammer comes up and it stands for demolish. So if I click on this, here's my little hammer. And what you'll notice is if I click on a wall, it also understands, okay, if the wall is gone, the door is gone. Here, I can maybe just decide to get rid of the door. And you'll see that not only does it get rid of the door, but then it also fills in where the door was. Pretty cool. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything, the walls too. Okay, and that's it. That's all I want to do for my demolition. If I keep clicking on stuff, it'll keep demoing it, but for now I'm done. So I'm going to hit escape twice. And here's my demolition plan. Here's what's really cool. If I go back and I click on first floor existing, the walls are still there because Revit understands the timeline of the project. So it realizes that existing is first. This is what's here. After comes demolition. Okay. Let's take it one step further. We're going to duplicate this plan one more time. Before I do it, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's just visualize this together and then press pause. See if you can do it on your own first. So first the visualization. After demolition comes new construction. The steps that we need to take for the new construction phase are really similar to that of the demolition phase. Do you remember what we did? Go ahead and hit pause and then come right back and we'll go through it together. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you remembered that first what we need to do is just verify in our phases that we have a new construction phase. And I do. So again, I went to manage phases, new construction. That's the first part. The second part is duplicating this first floor plan. So I'm going to duplicate view. And again, I don't have any detailing to duplicate, so I'm not going to worry about that. I have a copy, but this isn't, I don't want a demolition copy 1. So I'm going to rename this to first floor new construction. You can call it remodel, you can call it renovation, okay? Now, even though it's called new construction, remember, the most important part is to make sure that the phase matches the name. Ta-da! So again, Revit understands the timeline. Since new construction comes after demolition, it got rid of all of those walls. Now, everything I draw will be part of the new construction phase. And take a look at how that looks graphically. So if I go to wall, WA, and I'm just going to draw one right here. Let me turn on thick lines. Can you see the graphic difference between my existing walls and my new walls? Let me even turn off my CAD underlay. Okay. So another thing that I think is nice is that Revit graphically shows the difference between your existing walls by showing them lighter and gray, and your new walls by showing them a little bit thicker and a darker black color. So you can really see that on the plan. So let me go through these one more time. Existing. When it's existing, it just looks like a regular floor plan. When you go to demolition, you can see that it's getting lighter and everything that has been demolished gets dashed out. And please remember, on all of these plans, when you're done sketching, go ahead and turn off your CAD underlay. These shouldn't be seen here either. And then last but not least, we have our new construction. And on all of these, please make sure that your phase matches the name. New construction, existing, existing, demo, demo. And that's how you phase a project. Again, this isn't an introduction to Revit class, it's the fundamentals of Revit class. And me personally, a lot of the projects I do are remodels and tenant finishes. So working on these types of plans is really helpful to me. I can easily communicate to the client and the contractor what needs to be done within the existing framework and what's going on with all of the new stuff as well. So good luck wrapping up the phasing on your final project. If you need any clarifications, don't hesitate to ask and I can add to this lecture. Thanks everyone.